disputing the diagnosis. Prosecutors calling their own expert witnesses in the murder trial of Lindsay Clancy, pushing back on the defense's claim that the Massachusetts mother was under the influence of postpartum psychosis when she killed her 3 children. She has pleaded not guilty. A live look now inside the courtroom, where prosecutors are expected to call 3 medical experts as part of their rebuttal before jurors can hear closing arguments. Those could begin as early as tomorrow. As for the latest from inside the courtroom, let's bring in Peter Haralambous, who's been following this case since the very beginning, and also our legal expert, Bernarda Villalona. So, Peter, what are you seeing in the courtroom today?
Yeah, Kira, a very heated start in the courtroom today as defense lawyer Kevin Reddington is trying to cast doubt on this first prosecution rebuttal witness. This is a forensic psychiatrist who's basically been testifying that, in his opinion, Clancy was not suffering from postpartum psychosis and that she was deliberate and aware of her actions when she killed her 3 children. That's really testimony that goes against the heart of this defense case. Over the last week, these jurors heard from 10 defense witnesses who told them exactly the opposite. One of those expert witnesses called by the defense basically said Clancy was in a dreamlike state, that she was like a puppet controlled by someone else. This first rebuttal witness, Avram Mack, basically said that, in his opinion, that's not true. So Kevin Reddington this morning, in somewhat heated testimony, tried to cast doubt on that testimony. The judge had to get involved a few times. The witness at times refused to answer questions, though it did seem like he did gain some ground. Take a listen.
So would you agree with me, sir, that when you are diagnosing, if you do, a patient that's coming to you for help after having a baby and is now complaining of hearing voices or a voice commanding her to act, that is a symptom of postpartum psychosis, yes or no?
That would be psychosis. I don't know exactly, based on your hypothetical, as to whether it would count as the proposed postpartum psychosis illness, disease, but it certainly would be a concerning symptom or sign.
So this witness just got off the witness stand. We're now hearing from the second rebuttal witness, Dr. Kirk Heilbrunn. He's a psychologist who's now testifying. It's possible the jury begins hearing closing arguments as early as tomorrow.
So, Bernarda, when jurors were in court on Friday, they heard testimony from 2 forensic psychiatrists who evaluated Clancy's medical records. Did that testimony reveal anything new about both sides' arguments on Clancy's state of mind, do you think?
Oh, absolutely. So you have to think that when it comes to deliberations in this case, they're going to be reviewing, this jury is going to be reviewing her mental history, her medical history, what kind of care she was receiving. How early was it that she started revealing that she started hearing voices, or that she was experiencing a control that she had no control over? So the jury's going to be able, since these medical records are in evidence, the jury's going to be able to request these medical records, and they'll be able to look at the medical records. But the question is whether the medical experts that have testified have explained it or highlighted the portions that are so relevant for both sides. In the end, it's going to be up to the prosecution. They have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that she was not suffering from postpartum psychosis. And I think it's an uphill battle at this point with the combative first expert that they've called on rebuttal.
So, Bernarda, what do you think of the strategy that prosecutors are using in just the waning days of this trial?
Well, the prosecutors had to call these rebuttal experts because these are experts that did not give care to Lindsay Clancy. So they're kind of in the same position as the experts that were called by the defense that are coming after the fact, after the incident. But I think when you call your first expert that testified and is so combative to the point where he can't answer the basic question as to whether hearing voices is a symptom of postpartum psychosis, that expert there loses credibility, and the prosecution is losing credibility. And I think these jurors may be losing faith in the credibility and the expert testimony that the prosecution has offered thus far.
All right. We're going to keep paying close attention who knows, we might have a decision this week. Bernarda, Peter, thank you both. And for more on the biggest cases of the day, you can check out our show, Burden of Proof, right here on ABC News every weekday, 5:30 p.m. and 8:30 p.m. Eastern. You can also watch it on demand on Disney+, Hulu, or wherever you listen to your podcast by just searching Burden of Proof.